Okay, so here we're going to explore how to line up the Geminid meteor shower. And so I'm going to launch Stellarium, which is our free virtual planetarium that you can see here. And let's see what we've got here. Right now it's brought us up at Maplewood, Minnesota, which is where I'm located. If I come over here to the left-hand menu, or come down here, I guess. That's not it. There we go. We come to the date and time window option. We can, our location, we could change our location if we wanted to. We don't want to in this case. But we know that the Geminids, right now it's the 1st of November, and we know the Geminids are going to peak on the evening of December the 13th. So let's go ahead and dial that in. So here's December 13th of 2018. Let's imagine we want to start watching at 8 o'clock in the evening, and we're going to play around with the time that we're going to use to, oh, there they are. You can see them up here at the Geminids. That's one of our viewing options down here. We can turn on or off the meteor showers. We can turn on or off the constellations. Here are the outlines of the constellations. Here are the names of the constellations. Here are the mythical figures of the constellations. It's all pretty cool stuff. And what you can see here is the Geminids are located in the constellation Gemini. And that's in fact, of course, why they're called the Geminids. If they were located in the constellation Perseus, they'd be called the Perseids, which is what happens in August. And then we have the Orionids, which are located in the constellation Orion that you can see here, and so forth. So the Geminids are located in the constellation Gemini. Now let's go ahead and turn that off so we can have a better appreciation of what's going on, because what we really care about is this point right here. And what that point is, it's called the radiant. The radiant is the point in the sky from which, and we can zoom in all we want, it's not really ever going to change. This is Castor and Pollux, these are the two twins, twin stars, if you will, of Gemini. We can bring that back up for a second. There you go. And we can bring up the, you can see the artwork there. But in any event, the radiant is, like I say, the point in the sky that the meteors appear to come from. And so if we were to look at this point, they'd be zipping out in all different directions, kind of like we're going at warp speed into the Geminids. And that can work pretty well for viewing the Geminids. The issue with aiming your camera straight at, so the point is we're trying to figure out which compass direction to aim our camera. Do we want to aim it here? Do we want to aim it 90 degrees, 180 degrees? What's the deal? So these are some thoughts on that. So if we aim our cameras directly at the radiant, then because the meteors will be appearing to come straight at us, they will tend to be quite short. Relative to if we were at 90 degrees, then they'd be more, we'd be viewing them from the side, so to speak. So they'd be much more elongated, or maybe even a little bit behind us for the larger ones. So that's aspect A. Aspect B is we're not going to really start viewing at 8 o'clock in the evening, because even though it's dark, the best viewing, as you know, occurs after midnight, because that's when we're facing into the dust cloud from the asteroid that gives rise to the Geminids as the Earth rotates around the sun, orbits around the sun. So if we right here we have the time. So if I click on this arrow, see what's happening? It goes 21, 22. Let me go back. So here's 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. That's midnight on the 14th. So this is when the viewing gets good, and you can see where the radiant is now. It's almost due south. Then we have 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. That's kind of the prime window. So the radiant has gone from almost due south, high in the sky, to the southwest. So in fact, what we can do is we can view the equatorial grid, and this places the Geminids, the radiant, at a specific point in the sky that moves overhead. And oops, let me turn that back off. Hopefully, we got to click around. There we go. So we go 4 a.m., 3 a.m., 2 a.m., 1 a.m., midnight. If you follow this along, you see where the Geminids is in this box, and it stays at this location in this box, and this box moves across the sky. And because of the fact that the sky is oriented and the Earth is oriented the way it is hemispherically, you can see how the Geminids move from left to right as the Earth rotates from right to left. So if we want to have our main shooting time take place between midnight, let's say, and 4 a.m., then the radiant is going to be basically coming at us from due south. So what I'm planning to do, and what you might like to do, is go roughly 90 degrees. You could either go to the southeast, or maybe even to the west-northwest. And the idea being there that the meteors, whenever I click on a star, it brings up that information display. The meteors are going to come from a more sideways direction. So the strategy might be then, if we say the best window, whoops, there's dawn going the wrong way. The best window is around, let's say we average around 2 a.m. in the morning. So the Geminids are facing southwest, pretty high up in the sky. So if we're aiming our camera more or less southeast in this general direction, maybe even east, due east, then there's a reasonably good chance we're going to catch some really nice meteors. So that's the thought process. Now we know that we're going to aim our camera due east for the Geminid meteor shower. That's certainly plan A. Plan B might be to aim it, you could aim it just due south and try to have that warp speed type effect, although you'd have to do some alignment to stack them all together into a composite. Or you could aim them even to the sort of the northwest in this general direction, so that the meteors will appear to shoot from a sideways point of view. And maybe you've learned a couple things about using Stellarium. This is a wonderful free program that I use all the time for planning different photo outings, and you find it useful too. It's free, and it's just stellarium.org, stellarium.org. Hope that helps. This is Mike Shaw saying once again, get out there, get out, look up, and shoot your night skies. Take care.